Nostalgia. It's a powerful, deceptive drug, isn't it? It wraps us in a warm, comforting blanket, promising solace in the echoes of what once was. But beneath that comforting facade, a darker truth often lurks, waiting. The past, you see, has a stubborn refusal to stay buried. It claws its way back, sometimes in the most unexpected forms, demanding to be acknowledged. Tonight, I want to tell you a story about secrets. Some secrets are best left undisturbed, locked away in the forgotten corners of time. This is a tale that focuses on memory, on the chilling truth that can be unearthed from the most innocent of sources, old home videos. Our story begins with a man named David. He was, by all accounts, an ordinary man, living an ordinary life. His world was about to be irrevocably altered by a simple inheritance. After his grandmother passed, David was tasked with clearing out her old attic. There, tucked away in a forgotten corner, he found a dusty, unassuming box. Inside, a collection of old VHS tapes. These weren't just any tapes. They contained his family's history, spanning decades. Birthdays, holidays, summer vacations, a visual chronicle of his lineage. David felt a pang of sentimental curiosity. His initial belief was that this would be a harmless trip down memory lane. A quiet evening spent reminiscing, perhaps sharing a laugh at old hairstyles or fashion choices. He anticipated a comforting journey. His expectation was simple: seeing his young parents, vibrant and full of life, and his childhood siblings, innocent and carefree. He looked forward to reconnecting with a past he thought he knew so well. David set up the old VCR, a relic from a bygone era, and began his nostalgic journey. The first tapes were exactly as he expected: mundane family events, filled with laughter and familiar faces, birthdays, Christmas mornings, sun-drenched vacations. But as the hours passed and the tapes continued to play, a subtle sense of unease began to creep in. It was a feeling he couldn't quite place, a whisper of wrongness at the edge of his perception. He dismissed it at first. Then he started to notice things, fleeting flickers in the periphery of the frame, almost too quick to register. He'd rewind, pause, and see nothing, convincing himself it was just tape degradation or a trick of the light. He observed shadows in the background that seemed to move with an unnatural fluidity, even when the camera was still. They were too dark, too defined to be mere accidental blurs. A shiver traced its way down his spine. As he delved deeper into the collection, he encountered things that simply didn't quite belong. Anomalies that defied explanation, subtle intrusions into the otherwise idyllic family scenes. His heart began to quicken. For instance, a distorted face, barely visible, pressed against a window in the background of a Christmas morning, or a lurking figure just out of focus at the edge of a family picnic, and then the unnerving stare of a child, not his sibling, looking directly into the camera with an unsettling intensity. The unease solidified into something more concrete, more terrifying. David began to identify a recurring figure, a man. He was always there, always watching. The man consistently appeared on the edge of the frame, a silent sentinel in the background of countless family moments. He was never the focus, always a peripheral presence. He never spoke. He never interacted with others in the videos. He simply existed, a silent, unmoving fixture in the vibrant tapestry of David's family life. His role was that of a silent observer, a phantom witness to every birthday candle blown out, every holiday gift unwrapped, every summer memory made. He was a ghost in the machine. David's curiosity and dread intensified with each appearance. Who was this man? Why was he always there? And why had no one, not even David himself, ever noticed him before? The casual viewing sessions transformed into an obsessive investigation. David began analyzing the tapes frame by frame, his eyes straining for any detail he might have missed. He was desperate for answers. He slowed down footage, painstakingly scrubbing through seconds of video to search for clues, for any hint of the man's identity or purpose. Sleep became a luxury he could no longer afford. He noticed inconsistencies, things that didn't add up. The man would appear in places he couldn't possibly have been, or vanish from one frame only to reappear in another, impossibly far away. The man's presence seemed to shift and evolve with each tape. What started as a distant, blurry figure slowly became clearer, more defined, more menacing. The distance between them was closing. He appeared closer and more menacing in subsequent tapes, his features becoming disturbingly distinct. His eyes, once obscured by shadow, now seemed to bore directly into David's soul, even through the grainy footage. The final tape in the box shattered David's world. It was the last piece of the puzzle, and it revealed a horrifying truth that no one should ever have to bear. His reality crumbled around him. The scene depicted a childhood family picnic, a memory David cherished. The sun was shining, laughter filled the air, and his younger self was playing innocently in the grass. It was a perfect day. But the man was no longer just watching. He was no longer a silent, distant observer. He was interacting. He was part of the scene, a terrifying participant in David's cherished memory. He was reaching out to the children, to David and his siblings, his hand extended in a gesture that was both inviting and utterly chilling. A cold dread seized David's heart. And the children, David included, were smiling in a chilling, unnatural way, their faces devoid of genuine joy, replaced by a vacant, unsettling expression. It was a smile that haunted David's waking hours. David never spoke of what he saw after that. The words, the images, were too terrible to articulate, too deeply ingrained in his mind to ever be shared. He carried the burden alone. He disappeared shortly after viewing the final tape. His apartment was found empty, the VCR still hooked up, the television screen blank. Only the empty box of tapes remained. Left behind was only the empty box and a pervasive sense of dread that clung to the air, a silent testament to the horrors it once contained. The tapes themselves were gone. But the tapes are implied to still exist, waiting. Perhaps they were taken by the man, or perhaps they simply vanished, ready to resurface for another unsuspecting viewer. And so I leave you with this chilling warning. The figure might be watching. Not just David, not just the family and the tapes, but perhaps even now, he might be watching you too.